we get more young people, more young Africa into the mindset that these countries belong to them, that they must do it with every way necessary to grab power in Africa because this belongs to them.
I think what I'm going to say that African youth leadership is very critical to the future of the continent. And as youth people holding the potential to create a positive change and shape the trajectory of these nations. But however, it is very, very unfortunate, by the way, that many African youth are afraid to enter politics and take up leadership positions, as you can see, and as I said previously. And this fear may stem from a variety of factors, including lack of trust in political institutions, limited opportunity for political engagement, and a sense of disillusionment of the political process. And apart from that, many young people may feel intimidated by the competitors or the complexity of and competitiveness of political environment, or simply lack of the resources and connections necessary to navigate them effectively. But the most important to recognize that overcoming this fear, I know it's not an easy task, okay? But it's very, very necessary for African youth to have a critical role to play in shaping the future of these nations and the continent as a whole. And what I have to highlight on here is that their voices and perspectives or even thinkings are very essential to building inclusive and effective governance systems. And this is some of the things that I have said to some of my friends, some of my colleagues, and even my elders to support African youth in stepping up as leaders. It is essential. It's very, very essential to provide them with the trainings. I even write an essay on that, about the trainings, resources, and even mentorship, building a think tank for the African youth, because schools are here, but we don't learn so much things about the life, about things that we are supposed to do, we are supposed to tackle for our community. It's very essential. The think tanks are very essential in building African youth, spirit, ideas, perspectives, to prepare them for the challenges that they are supposed to tackle. And they need to develop those skills and confidence. And this can also include opportunities for civic educations, leadership trainings, as I said previously, and also some mentorship programs that can connect young people with experienced leaders in their communities. As I said, the leaders, the elders, and so on. At the same time as well, it's also crucial to create more inclusive and supportive political environment that can encourage youth participation and provide opportunities for them to contribute their ideas and perspectives, having those aspects to let youth in order to hear out their perspective on some of the things or some of the challenges that their society is facing is very important. This can involve policies and programs that can prioritize youth inclusion, such as youth quotas in political parties, or even targeted funding for youth-led initiatives. That's the most important thing that we are also supposed to consider. And also an aspect is that to create a more inclusive and supportive political environment for African youth, it's essential in order to unlock their potentials as leaders, ensuring that the continent is shaped, or the continent's future is shaped by their ideas and perspectives. As I said, we have to think about the future, not today. It's very important. And by working together to overcome the barriers that hold young people back, we can build a brighter future for all African youth. And to finish, answering your questions, I'm going to say that leadership is about unlocking the potential of others. If as a leader of today, we do not create a space whereby youth can learn, youth can have a training, you can learn from your aspect or some of your things that you are doing good or you are doing bad, will not be able to create a tangible, I said again, a tangible African leaders who are here to solve the problems, the critical issues of their community. We are going to be creating, at the end of the day, some of the leaders who are just here in order to feed their stomach, not to feed the stomach of their people.
Now, let's look at maybe one thing that is also very important in Africa today, because Africa, being the youngest population by demography in the world, and this demography be interested in technology, and looking at the fact that African political setup is very complex, I'm trying to just imagine. Is it possible that because the African young people are more in tune with technology, that technology can be useful for them to navigate the web of politics in Africa so that they can use it to their favor in order to grab power in Africa and then use it to the development of their land?
Thank you so much for that. And as I said, that we all have a role to play in order to transform our community or our continent. And these are some of the things that I usually say, that politics is vague, it's a broad field, and the things that I'm going to be, or the aspect that I'm going to be focused on in order to enter politics will not be the same aspect that you are going to consider in order to enter politics. And we all have a significant role to play. And I may enter politics by being into the political parties. And some people can use like technology in order to enter politics. But the main fact here is not about the process, it's about the final outcome. You get what I mean? It's the final outcome. That means that the impact that we have been creating through some of the things that we have been using in order to transform our communities through politics is very important. For instance, as you say, there are so many sectors in Africa that are not developed, and they are meant to be developed. For instance, when you look at the agricultural aspect, and today most African countries, what we are using, we are facing traditional farming methods, and this is something very, very backward. And in order to develop that, we need African youth, for instance, who are smart, who have like a hands-on experience and knowledge that can use technology and transform those sectors. And those will impact the life of millions of people who are not able to increase their productivity, which means that they are also playing their roles into politics, because politics is a strategy that we are going to be using in order to develop our community. And as I said previously, that leadership is not merely about the positions, but the impact that you make in your society. And those impacts can be made through different things that have a sense into politics: technology, journalism, politics, politics, and so on. We have a significant and critical role to play in order to move forward. And when you look at Nigeria today, we have so many youth who are so keen on technology, but those technologies are not used in order to transform the life of millions of people in Nigeria. It's very critical. We have to create a space for them whereby they can hear out their perspective. They can try to put on the line what they think about things that they can use for the transformations or the drastic transformations of their society.